Welcome to Predator vs Prey, a show that looks at the ongoing battle for survival between nature's best hunters and the prey so desperate to avoid Hello again viewers, and welcome to episode 2 of Predator vs Prey. As usual, I am your host Tim Williams. This week we're going to be looking at 2 new animals. First we're going to look at, representing the prey, we're going to look at the meerkat. Meerkat has risen to popularity because of a certain well-known advert, and now it is an incredibly popular attraction at many zoos across the country. We're going to see if the meerkat has what it takes to knock the coaties off the top of the table.
One of the reasons I love meerkats so much isn't because of a certain advert, it's because of the way they are such great examples of team players. In the wild, meerkats live in very large communities, and there's many different roles within these communities. They communicate using lots of squeaking or barking noises, and there are a few roles including foraging, because they're looking for small insects or small bits of fruit for their dinner, and they do this using communication techniques. And what they do, they're constantly squeaking and barking and making noises to each other so they can hunt or catch small lizards or other small insects. Now, that's not actually what we're looking at, because we're looking at them from a prey point of view. Now, one of the main features that meerkats have that make them so good at surviving is their lookouts. They always have many members of the community standing on their guard posts, scanning the skies and the surrounding area for possible predators. They're mainly looking for things like birds of prey, such as eagles. These are their prime hunters, and as soon as one of these lookouts spots an eagle, they'll make a squeak, a little warning noise, and it will be a warning to everyone in the community to get back to the burrows as fast as possible, where a bird of prey isn't going to be able to catch them. Now, this teamwork is really the main way that the meerkats survive, because they have no real way of defending themselves against large birds of prey or large hunters, but they're a prime example of how teamwork is a great way to survive. Individually, each meerkat is quite weak and wouldn't last very long at all. That's because they're unable to forage and keep an eye out for birds of prey at the same time. But as a team, the meerkats are an incredibly well organised unit for survival, and because of this they're going to score a solid 6 out of 10 on the prey scale. They're not going to knock off the coaties because of their inability to survive on their own or to defend themselves.
Excellent, so now we've looked at our prey for this week. We're going to look at the predator now though. And this week we have a bird of prey. However, it's not an eagle like the meerkats would be hunted by. It's actually a bird that is common across many parts of the world, and it's very common in the UK as well. And we are of course talking about the barn owl. It's one of my favourite predators ever, and you will see why in just a moment.
Now, barn owls are quite simply incredible predators. They don't hunt big animals, but they hunt small things like rodents and young rabbits and moles. They also catch frogs and sometimes small birds. They don't hoot like many owls, they screech, and it's quite long and eerie. Now, you might be wondering why it's so dark where this barn owl is, and that's actually because they're actually nocturnal hunters. This means that they hunt at night, and because of this they need some very special adaptations and features that help them to be able to catch their prey when it's dark. Now, the first feature we are going to look at is the barn owl's incredible eyesight. It's twice as light sensitive as humans, and its low light vision is very sensitive to movement. This means that the barn owl has a huge advantage of spotting its prey when it is dark. Now, sometimes it is too dark even for the barn owl to spot some prey, especially if there is a lot of vegetation or undergrowth. But another thing that the barn owl has that helps it locate its prey is its incredible hearing. Now, it has two ears. You can't see them like a human's ear, but it's actually very sensitive. And when sound reaches the two ears, they're heard very differently. And these differences in sound mean the barn owl can pinpoint the location of its prey. And this is extremely good for hunting in the dark. Now, if those features weren't enough already to give the barn owl a great rating, it has even more features that help it hunt its prey. When the barn owl flies, it has these tiny barbs on the front of its feathers, and these barbs deaden the sound of the air, and this means that when the barn owl flies, it's practically silent. Now, one final thing the barn owl has is its talons. You get a good look at them up close here, and you can see that they're quite large, and they're also incredibly strong, and he's got nice long legs as well. Now, these mean that the barn owl can catch its prey even when it's in long vegetation, and it means it can kill them easily as well. Now, these features we've looked at earlier are the reason I'm giving the barn owl a 9 out of 10 on my predator rating. It's practically the best hunter you'll get, it's top of its food chain, and anything small enough to eat is not going to escape the clutches of the barn owl.
That's it for today. That's all we have time for. I hope you've enjoyed the show again this week. Come back next week and you'll get to see another two animals, a predator and a prey, and we have a surprise special guest animal. Next week we'll see if our new animals can defeat the others.